Anne-Lise, the End Therapist here. Now we are going to move on to developing the inner child character details. So by now you should understand that we each have these three individual parts inside of us. We're starting with developing the inner child part. And in order to move forward with this video, you need to already have figured out what your inner child's force of nature is. Are you a wind? Are you a fire? Are you an ocean? Or are you a mountain? And it's okay to guess and just move forward. If it ends up not aligning, it will kind of self-correct. You'll start feeling like, oh, this really doesn't feel good. But try to just pick the one that attracts you the most. And then once you have that figured out, then you can start to build out the details of this inner child who's going to be going on this adventure with you. I like to start with the inner child because it's our heart center. We like to lead with our hearts, with that emotional center, so that we are aligned in the way that provides the most power, the most zest for life, the most love, and the most centeredness. So I have a character details sheet that you can download and fill out. And the first thing I want to mention, of course, is you want to write down what your force of nature is. So for instance, I'm a wind. I would fill out wind in there, and I'm keeping in mind that I'm channeling these healthy, natural characteristics of the wind as I imagine how this inner child behaves. So it really should align even with like the best parts of your childhood and how you remember being the happiest. And for some people, I will mention, and this was even true for me for several years until I got a little more healing. If you don't feel endeared to the concept of a romanticized, idealized version of your inner child, does not have to be literal. This is make-believe, this is imagination. So you don't have to literally think back and go, oh, well, I had a bad haircut when I was young, so I'm going to put a bad haircut on this character. No. You can have the long, luxurious hair. You can have the flat top. You can have whatever you want. You're also not limited by gender. So typically people do imagine their inner child when they're going to use a person as their gender, but you don't have to. Play around with it, have fun. If you are not endeared to the concept of little you, then pick a baby animal. There's going to be some, I used to use a puppy. It just, because I could never be mad at a puppy, and I could always love a puppy. People have used panthers, people have used kittens, and it's just anything that really just brings out that, just like melts you and makes you into a puddle. That's really what you want for this inner child, because their only job is to feel good. Their only job in life is to show up, be in the present moment, explore, be curious, and just feel good. So they're going to always want to pursue whatever makes them feel the best. And so we want to have a character that makes you want to help them feel good. And then we have a whole list. Their age, usually 4 to 7 years old, is about where it falls. That's a good age because they're old enough to kind of make decisions and have desires and, you know, ambulate, walk around and stuff. So on these adventures, they're able to kind of, you know, talk and interact with the other two parts, the guide and the manager. Their gender, just because when we're talking about the different parts, we want to be able to refer to them with their pronouns easily. What's their hair like? What's their favorite outfit? Are they wearing shoes? If so, what kind? A lot of times these inner children are barefoot. They're just running around free. That's certainly what mine was doing or is doing on these adventures. What are their favorite activities? What's their favorite places to go or hang out? What are some of their personality traits? So for instance, as a windy child, inner child, my inner child always is playful, and she's always changing ideas and running around and doing different things. If your inner child is a mountain, there's perhaps an aspect of that inner child that has, or that loves to go off quiet, you know, and be quiet and by him or herself a little bit more, and maybe just in their own world. If they're an ocean, maybe they like to really pay attention to detail and really sink down into some of these moments in a weightier kind of way. And then any other thoughts, anything else that you have, any other details that you have to go along with that, to sort of just bring it to life. Because the more you can relate, the more you can create a visual that is exciting and endearing and fun, the more that that character coming along on the adventure is going to come to life, and the more you're going to get out of this experience.